You just said to Smudger, "Get out of my sheds." This is our sheds, Duke, not yours. You mid-Sodor engines, who do you think yous are? I didn't mean it like that, Skarloey. I was only telling Smudger to get out. Of course you were telling Smudger to get out. After all, you are Duke, hero of all the engines, and none of us match up to your standards.
How dare you speak to Duke like that? It's not him causing the trouble, it's Smudger, said Peter Sam.
Oh, and Peter Sam, I heard you singing today when you were going up the line. You better stop it because the passengers will start complaining.
The passengers love my singing. You're just jealous because you could never sing with your squawky voice.
How dare you, said Rheneas. Do you know who you're talking to? Oh, of course, Skarloey, of the Skarloey Railway. You know, I remember when yous two first came to Sodor. Yous were troublemakers, yous were arrogant, and yous were... We were what, Duke? We were young. We were just built. We didn't know the meanings of the world. What were you, Duke, when you were young? Oh, I forgot, you never were young. Well, I'll tell yous one thing. Yous wouldn't have lasted a minute on mid-Sodor.
That's right, Grandpuff. The mid-Sodor Railway was full of hard work.
Duncan wasn't listening to the argument. He was thinking more about what Rusty could be up to. And Rusty wasn't listening to the argument as well. Meanwhile, the thin controller came to see Freddy. Freddy, the station masters told me that the engines are arguing at the sheds. I need you to take me there right away.
Oh my, the engine's arguing.
The Skarloey engine's arguing. That's a first, said Elizabeth.
And Freddy raced off. Then he arrived at the sheds. The engines were still arguing. Then the thin controller came out.
Stop this at once! You're causing a disturbance! I want that rotten engine out of these sheds at once, said Duke crossly. Me and Rheneas were getting oil up in the sheds, and he told us we were taking an afternoon nap, and he told Sir Handel and Peter Sam that if he was around, they would have been locked up in mid-Sodor. And he told Freddy that he should give up and be preserved before it's too late, and he called Mighty Mac a conjoined twin engine. So we all want him out, said Skarloey. I see, said the thin controller. Then he paused. Then he spoke to Smudger's driver. You're going to have to take Smudger to the mine. He can sleep at the sheds there, and I will get Bertie the bus to pick you up there. Sure, no problem, said Smudger's driver.
Then Smudger arrived at the mine.
Well, look who it is. I heard you were back. Found it hard to believe, said Bertram.
Hello, Bertram. Long time no see, said Smudger. You know those silly little engines got me to leave their sheds. You're lucky you're not part of that silly railway, said Smudger.
Well, why did they get you to leave? Said Bertram. Were you having fun? Because those engines don't tolerate fun whatsoever, said Bertram.
You can say that again, Bertram. No sense of humour whatsoever, and they can't even take a joke.
You know, if this mine ever shut down, and I was told I'd have to work on the Skarloey Railway, I would ask to go in to the Sodor Museum.
The Sodor Muse what? Said Smudger.
Museum. It's a place where you put old things.
Imagine the Skarloey engines in a museum.
Yeah, true. Imagine someone coming up to Skarloey. Skarloey, can I have a picture with you, please? I'm sorry, but the flash hurts my eyes. Ha ha ha.
You know, Bertram, I think we're going to get along just fine, said Smudger.
Well, as long as you don't get stuck down a mine, we will get along just fine, said Bertram.
That night, Duncan had to go to take empty coaches to the Crowens Gate. Guys, said Rusty.
What is it?
Said Skarloey. There's something I have to tell you. Duncan has kept saying that I've been hiding something, and the truth is, I have. So Rusty told them all about the mine engine.
Impossible. Mine engine was killed. I saw him being taken to the smelters,
said Duke. But they didn't take him to the smelters. They took him to an old siding near a hill.
You mean he's alive?
Yes, I have him hid at the old quarry at the minute, said Rusty. Duke could not believe it.
He's alive. He's alive.
I remember my driver told me what happened to him. He accidentally ran over an engine driver, and he got blamed for it, and it wasn't his fault. And there was a temporary manager, and he turned everyone against him.
Oh, every time I think about that temporary manager, my boiler bubbles,
said Jig.
What is gonna happen now?
Well, it's gonna cost a lot of money to repair him, and if the thin controller or fat controller finds out, they might decide to get him scrapped. We must keep him safe, said Rusty.
Well, we all know now, said Jig, so we can all take it in turns to look after him. I honestly cannot believe he's been alive all this time. We'll all keep him safe, said Jig.
I would love to tell Duncan, but you know what he's like. He'll be shouting it everywhere, and Smudger, Bertram, or the thin controller could find out.
Well, what Duncan doesn't know doesn't hurt him, said Jig. And Skarloey, I've got no joke. I want to say something first. What I said about Sodor and you, I am sorry. I did not mean it. Smudger has just got me in a bad mood.
Seeing that our drivers know, there's no reason why yous couldn't go to visit him as well. I'm sure you'd love to see all our engines apart from me, said Rusty. I'm sure it's very lonely for him up in that quarry all day. Although it would have been more lonely for him stuck in the hills at Sodor.
You know, Rusty, it would be an absolute honour to go and visit him, said Sir Handel. Another Sodor engine. One that was around before me and Peter Sam ever arrived. And maybe through time we could tell the thin controller, and then he might have enough money to get him restored.
That would be wonderful, said Rusty.
I still can't believe it. Sodor's unnamed mine engine is still alive.
The only memory of him is that model of him on the Rev Audrey's model layout of Sodor, I believe. If only the Rev Audrey was alive, he would be over the moon about this, said Rusty. The next morning, the engines were still excited.
This is brilliant, but we better make sure we don't tell the thin controller.
Tell the thin controller what?
Then Duncan arrived.
Well, what did you not want the thin controller to know?
Said Duncan.
Oh, I don't want him to know that I'm sick, said Renes.
Sick? What's wrong with ya?
Said Duncan.
Oh, I haven't felt well at all for days, and I don't want the thin controller to think that one of his engines isn't up to doing work.
Duncan was not convinced at all.
Those engines are up to something, and I'm gonna find out what it is.